One thing I wonder about sometimes, or think about occasionally, is how much, how thoroughly, how completely can you recover from the loss of a loved one? So, the major thing that our family went through, as in my side of the family, was my sister being killed in a car accident when she was 18. I was already married. I was out of the house, and so it wasn't like I saw my sister every day, or even though we had a super close relationship at that point. I think that's probably one of my regrets, is that I didn't invest more in her teenage years. Of course, some of it was just harder because I was going out in the world and doing my various adventures and so forth. But I still feel like I could have done a better job of connecting with her in her teenage years than I did, and so that's something that I'm not gonna get back. Um, Now, at the same time, it's not, I will get to hang out with her in eternity, forever in heaven, and so I'm not worried that I won't have the time to catch up with her. But as far as what I had to do here, what I had the opportunity for here, I do feel like I kind of missed the boat to some extent on that. And but yeah, I wonder sometimes, like, how deep does the healing go? How far can you heal? Is there always a scar? What does that scar look like? Um, for me, I feel like this time of the year. So she died in September, and so um, I generally feel that. So I've noticed sometimes it seems like maybe in the last half of August or beginning of September, just be kind of feeling kind of sad. I don't really maybe know why. And then it'll dawn on me, oh yeah, we're getting close to the homegoing date for my sister. And so I don't know. So is that just because there's stuff that I haven't properly dealt with and healed from, and so therefore it affects me on an annual basis? And I don't remember for sure if it's affected me every year or not, but it seems like it's a typical thing at this point. And you know, I would say that the grief was far more intense and far more difficult to get through for my parents. As I mean, as you would expect, I would say. I think losing a child has to, um, probably has to be one of the most difficult things to go through in life. And they came through it, and um, I would say that in many ways now they seem to be back to their old selves. Um, but I don't know, like, to what extent do they still feel a scar there versus how thoroughly is do they feel the healing? Like, I'm sure they also grew in some ways, that they like that they changed as people and became better people in some ways, I think, because of it. But how they would describe their level of peace, healing, pain, I'm not sure on that. I guess I need to ask him. um, and I know that many people, after they lose a partner, if they lose a spouse, and they'll go back. They'll, let's say they go back. They won't go back. They will find someone else and marry that person, sometimes in a fairly short time frame. And and I have no problem with that at all. I kind of I wondered, somewhat, like, what is that like to have? Don't you kind of have that scar on the one hand, and yet you have, like, new love on the other hand? It it's great that a person can find, like, my father-in-law. He's um, after my wife's mom passed away, then he was able to get married again, which is wonderful. And so it's really wonderful that people can find love again, Um, but what is that like to sort of live with that scar on the one hand and yet to have a great relationship again on the other? So I don't really have a lot of answers to, I guess, to how deeply that the scars can be removed. I feel like Jesus offers us healing. I do feel like He offers us the ability to live without bitterness, to have hearts that are not hard, to find joy and peace and love, even after going through something really difficult. But whether you can you go back to as if it never happened? I don't know if you can do that.